Imagine surviving negative 20-degree winters with nothing but stone tools and animal skins. For 300,000 years, Neanderthals did exactly that. Here's how they pulled it off. Picture Ice Age Europe, not the cosy, snowy postcard version. This was a land of extremes. Bitter cold that could kill in hours, winds that cut through flesh, vast open plains where glaciers loomed on the horizon, and forests came and went as the climate flipped back and forth. One generation might grow up surrounded by trees. Their grandchildren might inherit frozen grasslands instead. This was the world of the Neanderthals. They lived across Europe and Western Asia during the Ice Age, a time when temperatures could plunge far below zero and stay there. Winters were long, summers were short and unpredictable, food was never guaranteed, and danger was everywhere. Cave lions, larger than modern lions, stalked the plains. Packs of wolves followed herds. Hyenas waited to steal kills. Even bears competed with humans for caves. Every day was a fight to stay alive. And yet, Neanderthals didn't just survive. They thrived here for hundreds of thousands of years. To understand how, you have to start with how they ate. Neanderthals were hunters, not scavengers, not opportunists picking at leftovers. They went after the biggest, most dangerous animals in their world. Woolly mammoths, Ice Age bison, wild horses, giant deer, with antlers stretching wider than a modern car. And here's the shocking part. They didn't hunt from a distance. There were no bows, no arrows, no long-range weapons. Neanderthals used heavy wooden spears tipped with stone. These were thrusting spears, not throwing spears. To use them, you had to get close, very close, within arm's reach of an animal that could crush you, gore you, or trample you to death in seconds. This was not careful hunting. This was controlled violence. Imagine a group of Neanderthals advancing together through falling snow. The animal charges, spears go in, bodies collide, someone gets hit, someone goes down. But the group holds, the animal falls, and suddenly there is food, fat, meat, marrow, enough calories to survive another brutal stretch of winter. Their skeletons tell this story. Neanderthal bones are packed with healed fractures, broken ribs, cracked skulls, smashed arms, injuries similar to what modern rodeo riders suffer. These weren't accidents. They were the cost of hunting at point-blank range. Once the kill was made, nothing was wasted. Meat was eaten or dried. Bones were cracked open to reach the marrow, one of the richest sources of fat available in a cold environment. Hides were stripped and cleaned. Tendons were saved for bindings. Survival meant efficiency. But food alone wasn't enough. In the Ice Age, exposure could kill faster than hunger. Neanderthals needed shelter. When caves were available, they used them. But caves weren't always an option, and they weren't permanent homes. Many Neanderthal sites show evidence of open-air shelters built from wood, stone, and animal bones. Some were positioned deliberately against the wind. Others were arranged around fire pits, creating protected living spaces in otherwise open landscapes. This wasn't random. It was planning. And then there was clothing. Without clothing, Neanderthals would not have survived a single winter. They wore fitted garments made from animal hides, not just draped skins, but shaped, layered clothing designed to trap heat. Archaeologists have found bone tools likely used as awls, used to punch holes for stitching. That means sewing. That means tailored clothing. That means an understanding of insulation, long before the word existed. Picture thick fur cloaks, wrapped legs, covered hands, a body built for the cold, protected by the remains of the animals they hunted. At the centre of it all was fire. Fire was everything. Fire meant warmth during nights when temperatures dropped to deadly levels. It meant light in a world without artificial illumination. It meant safety, keeping predators at bay, and it meant food that was easier to digest, safer to eat, and far more calorie-rich. Neanderthals controlled fire. They didn't just use it when nature provided it, they maintained it, they carried it, they built their camps around it. Flames reflected off cave walls, sparks rose into the frozen night air. Meat roasted, bones cracked, stories may have been shared, even if we'll never know the words. Fire also changed their biology. Cooking breaks down food, freeing up energy. More energy means bigger brains. And Neanderthals had big brains, on average, slightly larger than ours. Which brings us to one of the biggest misconceptions of all. Neanderthals were not stupid. Their brains were large and complex, just organised differently from modern human brains. They made sophisticated stone tools. They adapted those tools to different environments. They likely understood seasonal animal movements. They planned hunts. They planned shelters. They planned survival. And they weren't alone. Neanderthals lived in small, tight-knit social groups. Survival in the Ice Age required cooperation. And the evidence for that cooperation is written in bone. Some Neanderthal skeletons show individuals who survived for years with severe injuries, missing limbs, crushed legs, degenerative diseases. These people could not hunt. They could not gather. They could not survive alone. Yet they lived. That means others fed them, protected them, cared for them. This wasn't just survival. This was compassion. They also may have had culture. Archaeological sites show the use of pigments like ochre, carefully collected shells, feathers from birds with no nutritional value. These may have been decorations, symbols, early expressions of identity. There's even evidence they may have spoken. The shape of a Neanderthal throat bone suggests they were capable of complex vocalizations. Their ears were tuned to the frequencies of human speech. They likely communicated far more than we once believed. And here's the part that makes this story personal. Neanderthals aren't entirely gone. If you have ancestry outside of Africa, you carry Neanderthal DNA. About 1 to 2%. It influences your immune system, your skin, your hair, even how you respond to pain or cold. They didn't just vanish. Part of them lives on, in us. So why did they disappear as a distinct group? The answer isn't simple. Climate change played a major role. The Ice Age wasn't stable. Temperatures shifted rapidly. Ecosystems collapsed and reformed. Animals moved or vanished. Neanderthals were highly adapted to specific environments. When those environments disappeared, survival became harder. Then came competition. Modern humans arrived in Europe with different strategies. They formed larger social networks. They traded over long distances. They used projectile weapons that allowed safer hunting. They ate a broader range of foods, including fish and plants. Neanderthals were specialists. Humans were generalists. And over time, that mattered. Some Neanderthals were outcompeted. Some populations dwindled. Others interbred with modern humans and were slowly absorbed. By around 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals as a distinct population were gone. But they were never failures. They survived Ice Age Europe longer than our species has existed so far. They endured conditions that would kill most humans today in days. They hunted monsters. They mastered fire. They cared for their own. They were not primitive brutes. They were Ice Age survivors. Neanderthals weren't failures of evolution. They were Ice Age survivors, pushed to the edge by a changing world. Thank you for watching, and make sure to check out my other videos. What other prehistoric mystery should I explain next? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into Earth's lost worlds.